Guys, wanted to give you kind of one last video before you go off and go for tryouts and start playing in your spring and summer high school season and tournament season. So I'm going to give you a couple of things that I think are important kind of leading into those tryouts and also those spring and summer seasons. And hopefully you guys can take a couple of things out of it and help you along the way a little bit. My first piece of advice for you guys is, and really this is something that you guys can use in your everyday life as you get older too. If you think it's going to take you 15 minutes to get to your tryout, wherever that is, at a high school, at a facility somewhere, if you think it's going to take you 15 minutes to get there, well, give yourself 30 minutes to get there because you never know when you're going to get traffic. You never know when you may forget something, have to turn back around, go home, grab it, whatever the case is. So, again, if you think it's going to take you 30 minutes, well, maybe give yourself an hour to get there and kind of etc. If you're there early, okay, it's going to help you, one, show the coaches that you're serious about this. And if you get there early, feel free to ask the coaches if they need any help setting things up. I think that goes a long way in showing your ability to go out there and be a leader and helping the team and things like that. So there's nothing worse than showing up to a tryout or an interview when you get older and showing up late. That is one of those first impression things that it's hard to come back from. And now you're going to be scrambling and thinking about, oh man, I was late. What do they think of me? And now you're not going to be able to focus on what you do well, and that's playing baseball. So again, if you think it's going to take you 15 minutes, add on another 15. Okay, make sure you leave it 30 minutes early, just so you have time to be able to get there, relax, meet the coaches, show that you're early, all those different things, which it may seem like a small little thing, but it could play a pretty big time role in the tryouts and again, as we get older and into the job market and going in for interviews. How many times have you seen this out of a player before? You get to a ballpark, and all of a sudden, a player walks up. He's got flip flops on. He's got his Beat headphones on, listening to music. He's got a backwards hat on, untucked shirt. Half the time, this player will show up, and he's not wearing any baseball pants. He's got shorts on, and he's getting changed right there in the dugout or in front of the stands. Guys, first impressions, okay? Another piece of advice is first impressions go a long way, okay? When you come to the ballpark, dress like you're a ball player before you get there, okay? It's real simple to put on your baseball pants at home, okay? It's real simple to wear a pair of tennis shoes leading up to the park, okay, and not flip-flops. It's real easy to keep your hat the right way into a game, okay? It's real easy to tuck in your shirt beforehand so when you get to the ballpark, you look like you're ready to be there and that you're ready to perform in front of those coaches. And again, guys, I can't stress that first impression enough. For you guys that maybe this is your first time ever going to a high school tryout, for you guys that are fighting for a position somewhere, maybe a starting job, whatever the case is, those first impressions, guys, can go a really, really long way. And something that guys really tend to forget sometimes, and I don't know how, I don't know why, is they forget belts. And I think that kind of goes into the whole notion of showing up to the ballpark in shorts and not coming with your baseball pants. Because if you go home and you throw on your baseball pants before you get to the park, you're going to realize that you don't have a belt on. But for those guys that tend to wear shorts when they show up to the park, okay, that's when those guys tend to forget those belts. So all those things, guys, those first impressions, okay, do it the right way. Show up and like you're ready to actually play some baseball, and you're going to go out there and compete. So we have a lot of guys that are going to go into tryouts, and they're probably going in feeling pretty confident that they're most likely going to be a starter or get significant playing time or anything along those lines. For those type of guys that know they're going into it and they pretty much got a position locked up as a starter, okay, I really want you guys to go into it and really approach things as really as like you're still fighting for a spot, okay, that you're fighting to just make the team. Okay, this can go a long way in really showing that the younger guys, okay, who probably most likely look up to you guys because you are the starters on the team and guys that they want to get to, the year level they want to be able to get to in a year or two, okay, show those younger guys how to go about and handle business. Okay, don't come to the ballpark like you made it. Okay, don't come to the ballpark like you're an MLB player already. Okay, you guys are in high school. Okay, show up. Okay, act the right way. Show those younger guys really how to go about things. Okay, and really, guys, that's going to set the tone for the rest of the year. Okay, you come to the ballpark ready to do your business and handle it. Okay, that's going to set the tone. Okay, that's going to tell the rest of the team, okay, hey, listen, we're in it, man. We're ready to win this year. Okay, so I think it's really important to even if you think you got something locked up there, to go into it, okay, and really act like you're fighting for a spot. You're fighting to make the team, and that's going to go a long way with those younger players. That's going to go a long way with building that team up and setting that tone for the rest of the guys for the rest of the year. Two things that I think should just kind of be second nature to our guys, and I expect out of them is really just to be always respectful to coaches, teammates, umpires. Okay, just be a good person. I think that speaks for itself. I shouldn't have to go into too much depth on that. Um, the other thing is, guys, just relax and have some fun. Okay, it's baseball. Everyone should be enjoying themselves playing. It shouldn't be a stressful moment. Okay, there's going to become a time in your lives, and it happens to everybody. Okay, that the game's going to end for you at some point. Okay, I don't want you guys to have to sit here and have to look back and regret that maybe you didn't do things the right way. Maybe you didn't leave it all out on the field. Maybe you didn't go into that tryout and give it your all. Okay, I don't want you to have those regrets because, like I said, this game is going to end for you at some point. Okay, it may happen here in a couple years. It may happen in 5 years. It may happen in 15 years. But at some point, this game is going to end. Okay, and there should be no regrets going forward because that's one of the worst feelings you ever have is that you didn't give it your all when you were back in high school or going into college or whatever the case is. Um, Go out there, give it your all, have no regrets, and have some fun doing it. Now let's get into a little bit about the spring and summer games. Okay, a lot of things that we just talked about in terms of being respectful, in terms of showing up to the ballpark, dressed a certain way, ready to play. All those same principles still hold true, obviously, going into games. Okay, um, the first and foremost thing that I want you guys making sure that you're doing is playing the game the right way. Okay, I think this day and age. I think a lot of guys watch MLB games and no one's running hard. They're kind of going through the motions. Okay, I want us and our players, okay, to show their love for the game. I want them to go out and play the game the right way, play hard, be that type of player that okay sticks out on a ball field. Okay, a type of player that if a college coach is sitting there, they go, this guy, he looks like a ball player. I want him. Okay, even if the day's not going the right way, that's a player that I want because he's putting it out on the line for his team, for himself, to win the game. I want our players to go out there and be that type of player. Okay. Um, if you think you're too good to go out there and run hard 90s or you don't need to run on and off the field between innings or die for a ground ball to prevent a run or go out there and cheer teammates on or pick teammates up after they may have made an error or struck out in a big moment. Okay, it's probably time to maybe reconsider why you're playing this game. Those are all things, guys, that really come from right here. Okay, it comes from heart. It comes from loving the game. It comes from the type of person that you are. And there's no reason that a player can't run out a hard 90. There's no reason a player can't run on and off the field and show some emotion and love for the game that he actually wants to be there. There's no reason that you can't get dirty diving for a ground ball to save a run. Okay, there's no reason you can't pick up a teammate. Do all those things, okay? Show that love for that game and stick out on the baseball field. That goes a long way in a lot of stuff that we're going to talk about here in a second or two. Guys, college coaches and scouts, they love numbers. They absolutely love athleticism. They love strength. They love speed, okay? They love all those different types of things and things that you may do in a game and not think are important. Um, those college guys, those recruiting coordinators, those head coaches, those assistant coaches, they're looking for a million different things within a game, within how a player acts. Okay, so for an example, if you pop up, okay, and your first at bat, and coaches are sitting there, and you pop up, um, do you think the scout or the recruiting coordinator or whoever's there stops watching the game? Um, and the answer is no. Those guys always have a stopwatch in the hand. Okay, you pop up to right field. Those guys are going to be watching how you bust your butt out of that box, and they're also getting a time on your home to first time. Okay, there's a million different things these guys are looking for in a game. They want to see the type of tenacity that maybe a player has. They want to see the type of love that a player has for the game. They want to see how a player warms up pregame. They want to see what a home to first is on a pop time. Are you busting your butt out of that box? So there's a lot that goes into this, guys. So when I say play the game the right way, those are the type of things that I'm talking about. I'm going to give you guys a little bit of a story. A couple years back, we had an SEC recruiting coordinator come fly in to watch one of our pitchers and in one of their high school games. It was during the high school season, the spring season. Flew in to take a look at him. He never let the player know that he was coming in. He told me that he was coming and flying in, and really that was it. That's all he told. The coach, he showed up over an hour before the start of the game. Okay, he wanted to come see how this player came to the ballpark. He wanted to see his warm-up routine, his progression. He wanted to watch his pregame bullpen to see how he got loose and he warmed up. Okay, when he came to the field, guys, he wasn't wearing any college gear. He had no logos on him. He basically had a hoodie pulled over his head. If you didn't know that he was there, if he didn't let me know, you would never have seen who he was. There was no inkling of, hey, this is this guy from this school. He was there just to watch. Okay. When he was there, he sat on the right field fence line, okay, for a while, and he watched the game. He ended up coming behind the plate eventually, and occasionally pulled out the radar gun to get a velo. That day in particular, the defense on that team was very shaky. Okay, didn't play very well behind this pitcher, and that happens. It's part of the game. But the coach was looking for that type of thing and to see how this pitcher reacted to it. Okay, after the game, he came up to me and he really liked how that pitcher kept his composure. How he didn't get down on his teammates. He didn't hang his head. He didn't get overly frustrated and start yelling at his guys for making errors behind him. At the end of the day, this pitcher ended up getting an offer from that school after going on a visit to it. Okay, and I think the moral of that story, guys, and I hope that hits home with some of you guys, is you may never know who's actually out there watching you at a game at any given moment. Okay, maybe there isn't schools there. Maybe there is schools there. But why take the chance, okay, of not playing your absolute hardest when you have that ability to go out there and do it? Okay, why take the chance of having you have someone cross you off their list? Okay, because you didn't show up to the field that day like you were ready to play. You look like a big leaguer who really already signed a multi-million-dollar contract. Okay, why take the chance of losing hundreds of thousands of possible dollars on a scholarship because you didn't run a hard 90 that day? Okay, why take the chance of a coach actually leaving the game because maybe you dropped an F-bomb because you got frustrated during the game, guys? So I want every player, if you're going to take one thing out of this 15-minute segment, okay, is play the game, okay, like there's a million scouts there. Okay, you never know who's going to be watching you at any given moment. If you can instill that within your brain, okay, and play that way every single time, good things are going to happen for you guys. And you're never going to have to look back and go, man, did I play the right way that day? Did I show up to the field mentally, physically? Did I show up that day? Okay, never have those regrets. And if you go out there and think there's going to be a million scouts there every single day, okay, you should be able to go and at the end of your playing career go, I'm good. Okay, everything that happened to me in my playing career happened for a reason because I went out there and this is what I did.